Today, I'd like to talk about tofu, an essential part of the Japanese dining table. Tofu is actually a very historic Japanese food that has been eaten for over 1,000 years. It's made using a very simple process: boiling soybeans, adding nigari, a coagulant, and letting it set. It's simple, but because of its nutritional value and how easy it is to eat, tofu is loved not only in Japan but now all over the world. Tofu is especially convenient for people who follow a vegan diet. That's because tofu allows you to get plenty of plant-based protein. Even if you don't eat meat or fish, eating tofu can help support your muscles and provide energy for your body. On top of that, since tofu contains calcium and iron, it's also perfect for maintaining a balanced diet. Another great thing about tofu is how easy it is to use in a variety of dishes. For example, if you grill it, tofu becomes a tofu steak, and you can expand the range of flavors with different sauces. You can also add it to curries or soups, or even blend it into smoothies or desserts. With just one ingredient, you can use it in both savory and sweet dishes. That's why tofu is called a versatile food. When conscientiously following a vegan, one of the biggest nutritional concerns is precisely how to adequately get enough protein. At times like that, Japanese tofu becomes a very reliable option. Moreover, these days it's become much easier to find tofu in supermarkets overseas as well. So today let's try making a simple tofu teriyaki steak. If you coat the surface of the tofu with rice flour, potato starch, or wheat flour and then cook it in a frying pan, the outside becomes crispy. It's delicious. And when you add a teriyaki flavor, it becomes rich and pairs perfectly with tofu. Tofu is an essential superfood that Japan is proud of, especially for maintaining a vegan lifestyle. In Japan, there really are so many different types of tofu available. Back in the day, I used to have a tofu shop in my neighborhood, and I would take a plate with me, have them put tofu on it, and then bring it home. That's how I used to buy tofu. Nowadays, those kinds of tofu shops are becoming fewer and fewer. So instead, when you go to the supermarket, you'll see a wide variety of tofu lined up. First of all, the one I use most often is this kinugoshi tofu, which I think is a soft type of tofu. The one I use the most is this soft tofu called kinugoshi tofu. You can mix it into various dishes or eat it just as it is. It's definitely the most convenient. And then next, there's something called momen tofu. For example, when making tofu steak and such. Kinugoshi tofu is sometimes a bit too soft and can fall apart. Momen tofu is made a bit firmer, so it works well for grilling things like steak. And then one of my favorites, this is black sesame tofu, but sesame tofu is also commonly sold in Japan. For example, there are slightly sweet types of sesame tofu or types that you eat with miso. I think sesame is also an ingredient that's easy for vegans. If you ever find sesame tofu at a supermarket overseas, please give it a try. Also, I found something for the first time today. I discovered something called mokeako that you put on rice and eat. This is the first time I've seen a product like that being sold. There are really so many foods in Japan made from soybeans. So on this channel, I'd like to keep sharing more and more about them. So if you're interested, please subscribe and stay tuned.